So I was concerned, am I going to look like a senior citizen? Am I going to look like Mr. Ed? Is it going to fit? Are they going to be real? It was a lot of those thoughts because I had never seen actual results from a permanent implant place. No one, as far as I saw in my graduating class, was having any type of digital issues. And so I was concerned how my family was going to view me. Just wait till you're 50. You're too young. You don't need that. Just, you can't be in that much pain. But I was in pain. I needed to do something.
Angel, when most people think about full mouth dental implants or a smile transformation, they typically picture someone who's older, right? And because of that, people who are dealing with these issues earlier in life tend to feel like unsure if this is something that they should even be considering. But you got full mouth dental implants at a young age. So today I really want to talk about the concerns that you had about it and what you wish you knew before doing it. How does that sound?
It sounds great. Let's talk about it.
All right, let's dive in. So, first, let's lay some ground here. How old were you when you first started to consider dental implants, and what made you feel like this might be the next step for you instead of maybe some temporary solutions like crowns or root canals or dentures?
Yeah, I was 37 when I first started thinking that this might be something I needed to do. So I went to my endodontist. I was just about to get a root canal done. And I said, hey, do you think I should probably look into implants? Because I keep getting these root canals, these cavities filled, and they fail. And he goes, uh, you still got some pretty good teeth in there. Nah, I don't think you should. And so he proceeds to give me a root canal that failed in less than 6 months. So that wasn't fun. So by the time I turned 39, I went to a dental office and looked into implants with them, which obviously I didn't do, and it didn't go well. It wasn't what I wanted. And then at 41, I found Nuvia.
Wow. So, whenever you were going through this stuff, you were basically not finding the answers you could. Nothing was permanent for you. So you're looking for more of a permanent solution, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But again, I know dental implants are something that it sounds like it might be for someone who's typically older. So what concerns did you have about getting dental implants at the age that you were?
I was definitely concerned about how my peers would see me because no one, as far as I saw, that in my graduating class was having any type of digital issues. And so I was concerned about that. I was concerned how my family was going to view me because there were some that were like, just wait till you're 50. You're too young. You don't need that. Just, you can't be in that much pain. So there was a lot of the stigma of I was too young, according to other people that was weighing on me. But it wasn't about that. It was just, I was in pain. I needed to do something.
Absolutely. And can you talk more about, you're a mom, of course. So can you talk
Yeah.
more about maybe how you felt about, hey, I still have the responsibilities to my children. Maybe this is not something I should do for myself now. Can you kind of talk about maybe that concern you had?
Yeah, that was a major concern. I, at the time, had a freshman in college, a senior in high school, and a junior in high school. So naturally, there's money going out constantly for them. And it was not an easy decision. I honestly thought, can I be this selfish? This is a very selfish thing for me to do. And I've never been that way. I always put them first. So it wasn't an easy decision. Even when we sat there in the consultation, I looked at my husband like, "Are you okay if I do this? Because we have so many things on our plate." And he said, "Yeah, just do what you need to do." But that was heavy on my mind. It still was after the fact.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't even imagine. So I am curious though, what finally made you say, hey, like, I do need to do this for myself though?
Oh my gosh, my health. My health was failing. I had so many issues that were going on that I didn't realize were coming from me having bad teeth. Not only that, I couldn't eat. I was in constant pain. Unless the food was like pillow soft, I just couldn't eat it. So I was constantly pretending to eat. I was pretending to be social. I worked in a position that had me front facing with people. So I could not afford to lose teeth. I just wouldn't have been able to do my job. So it was a lot that made me make that decision finally, but mostly it was the pain and knowing that I really couldn't stay unhealthy like that.
Wow. And it sounds like, obviously it was affecting you a bunch, but even like the way it was affecting you was maybe affecting the people around you too. Is that something you noticed?
Oh my gosh, yes. Every time we would go out to eat, my husband and my kids would be like, well, we can't go here. Mom can't eat that. Or my mom, when she would prepare family dinners for us to come over, she was like, well, I made this just for you and it's so, so soft. But then if I tried to eat it and it still wasn't for me to be able to eat, they would all feel so bad, and that made me feel bad, and so I would pretend to eat, and it was just uncomfortable. I didn't like making them feel that way, and I knew they didn't like me being uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. What about when it comes to like the appearance? Were you ever worried like going into this, maybe getting it done would make me look older or even look fake? Like what about that aspect of it?
Yes, of course. Until I saw Nubia, I only saw like veneers and the snap-ons, which did not look real. You know, you get the clay and you send it back. So I was concerned, am I going to look like a senior citizen? Am I going to look like Mr. Ed? Is it going to fit? Are they going to be real? It was a lot of those thoughts because I had never seen actual results from a permanent implant place, even from the other provider. They showed me the denture process. They never showed me the finals.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I had no idea what to expect until I saw the other patients that Nubia had.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second on what this process
Yeah.
that you did looked like. But one more question. I know, like another concern about getting it done at a younger age would be, hey, how long is this actually going to last? Like, is this going to last long enough or am I going to have to get it done again and again? Like, so was that also a concern on your mind?
It was, especially after going to the other provider where they told me no less than 10 months and I'd have to do so many different partials to be told, no, you're going to get a permanent smile in 24 hours was like, but how long is that gonna last? Like, will it be 5 years, 10 years? Will it go until I'm older? And that was one of the reasons someone had said, "Well, you wait till you're 50. At least then you'll have more time with your teeth in case they fail." And I'm like, "I can't go another 9 years to wait till I'm old enough." So, it was a concern. It really was.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't even imagine another day with the amount of pain and the stuff that it was doing to you to go through that. Like, no, like it was time for you to do something. And I think it's
Yeah.
super brave that you were like, hey, I got to do something now. So, whenever you did start to, look into the different dental implant processes and stuff like that, where did your search like first start? Like, what did that look like?
Initially, it started with that endodontist and then being told no. And then after that, I lost another tooth. And then I looked into the next provider. I went and got scans and did all those things after paying for the initial visit. And they said, well, you're looking at about 80,000. And that's not even the cap on top of 10 months of not really having teeth. That kind of was like, "Oh, I don't wanna do this." So I waited another 2 years, and then I was scrolling through Facebook, I found Nuvia. There was a lot that happened that led up to that, but Nuvia's ad popped up, and then I was like, "Well, this can't be real. This sounds fantastical. I've never seen anything like that." And so I kept researching Google, YouTube, TikTok. I was all over the place looking at Nuvia until I really was okay, like, "This might be the real thing."
So you went from a place that what you said 10 months. Like, what does that mean? 10 months you're waiting for what exactly?
They really could not specify. They're saying it could be a 10-month process, but it could go longer because the way they described it, they would pull my top teeth, let me heal for a week, fit me for dentures, let that heal for a week, then go and take my bottoms, let that heal for a week, then come and fit me for the dentures for that. And then as they healed, I would get another set and another set until they got to the point that they thought they were healed enough to give me my permanents. So they couldn't give me a real time frame, but 10 months was the least amount of time.
Oh my goodness.
That's impossible.
And so in the meantime, you're wearing like basically an acrylic like plastic denture in your mouth?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, full,
wow.
like, platelet denture that would sit in there, and they did tell me, like, they don't last very long, so you may have to come back and get them in another 2 months or so, and it just sounded terrifying, honestly. I was afraid of the dentist, and that wasn't something I wanted to do.
Yeah, especially someone who's already experienced the dentist enough. You don't want to be going back and back and back. And who knows if that's going to cost more money or who knows what that all entails. So you said then you found Nuvia. What exactly were they promising like in comparison to that? And what information kind of were they giving you?
First and foremost, permanent teeth. Second, permanent teeth without dentures or prosthetic temporaries. They weren't promising temporaries. They were saying, hey, you come in 24 hours, you get a permanent smile. That was unheard of. 24 hours, first and foremost, after being told 10 months or more. I was intrigued. I'll just say that. I was intrigued. I couldn't, it was like you scroll and you see this, you see that, you see veneers, and you're like, Then you see this and you're like, wait a minute, this is kind of cool. What is this about? And from that moment on, I had to go down the rabbit hole. I did as much research as possible. I think I did research for about 2 weeks before I did the quiz and looked at the cost guide.
Incredible. So you were like, "All right, let me go in. Let me get this stuff figured out." So you obviously went through the process. I do have to ask though, did you really get your permanent teeth 24 hours after surgery? Walk me through that moment.
I absolutely did. Leading up to it, there was anxiety, there was nervousness, there was fear. Of course, you don't really know what's going to come of it because you're just taking this step. You're going to get all your teeth removed, and my mom said, like, once you do this, there's no going back. So what if it's not what you want? What if they're not great? What if they're ugly or they don't fit? You're really going to take this chance. So it was a lot of fear, it was a lot of nervousness, but when I got my smile, oh my gosh, it still makes me emotional. It was like seeing myself again for the first time, a self that I never thought I would see again, a version of me that was healthy and whole. And even though I wasn't healthy as I am now in that moment, all I saw was this is the beginning of the rest of my life. And it was amazing. It was amazing.
And I've seen that video of your smile reveal. It is the most amazing that you can like feel the emotions like through the screen and you look insanely beautiful. Like your smile is so gorgeous and I'm so happy that you decided to do this for yourself. And I can imagine, yeah, turning that mirror around for the first time, you're like, it's all coming. It's like the moment that it all comes together. It kind of feels like,
It was
wow.
I honestly would not have believed it if it weren't a room full of people looking at me and clapping. But my main concern, I immediately looked at my husband because that fear came back like, oh my God. And I said, do you like them? Like that was the first real thing that came to my mind. And to see his smile, and he immediately took a selfie with me and he's smiling. I'm smiling. I knew I made the right choice because I could see his happiness for me radiating off of my expression on it. It was like a back and forth. I can't even explain it. The energy was just amazing. My life changed immediately in that moment.
Oh, that's so amazing. Well, I know something you were like initially worried about was like, oh, what if this new smile makes me look older, or what if they look fake? So, how do you feel, I guess, about them now, or even when that moment you got them? Like, do you feel that way about them?
No, I don't feel weird. I don't feel honestly, I'm gonna say this. Nuvia got as close to my original smile as anyone possibly could. I seriously turned that mirror around and saw myself. I didn't see a new person. I didn't see something weird. I recognized the me that I used to be. It was a dream come true. It honestly, it was seriously magical. I can't put into words the feeling of turning that mirror around and seeing myself. I just there's not enough words.
Oh my goodness, that is so amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Thank
Um,
you.
well, now that you've had them for over a year now, you just hit a
Yeah.
year. One thing you were also concerned about before is like, hey, are people going to notice I have this smile? Or are they going to judge me for getting this done? So, like, what do people say? Do people comment on it? Tell me more.
I kid you not, people stop and stare at me.
I believe it.
So I work a second job where I'm in the store and they'll walk in, I'm like, "Hi, welcome in," and they're just like I'm like, "Hi," and "Your smile is amazing." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Even children, like, it doesn't matter, young, old, black, white, any ethnicity, any age, they just look at me and they're like, "Your smile is amazing." Like, "Oh my God, they're so beautiful." And coming from a person that was afraid of people looking at my smile because of how broken it was, and I'm an introvert, I'm really actually shy, having people just stop and stare at me now, it's like, okay, hi. It almost makes me wanna hide it, but I can't hide it because I'm so happy about it, and I never hesitate to tell people, "I these are implants. I went to Nubia, these are implants," and they're like, "No way." The biggest compliment is people saying, "I would never have thought those were implants. Wherever you went, they did a darn good job," and to me, that makes me the most proud that I made the right choice.
And the fact that
Yeah.
you're also like telling people, like, yeah, I don't care if like these are,
Yeah.
that says a lot.
My mom was like, "Don't tell people that." My grandmother's like, "Wait, don't tell people you don't do that." And I'm like, "Why wouldn't I? Like, this is life changing. And if I can help someone else, like if me getting my smile is something that might provoke someone else to be like, hey, I can do this too, why not tell them? I'm proud of it. I'm happy."
Exactly. Exactly. Well, since you did get them at a younger age and I know still people are going to have those fears of like, hey, is this really going to be a long term solution? So, how have they held up like over this past year? Do they feel strong? Are they easy to maintain? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, they're perfectly strong. I can eat whatever I want, and I have been eating whatever I want, but it requires the same care as your normal teeth, right? You brush, you floss, you rinse, you do all the things. So it has this regular maintenance that you do want to keep up so that they don't fail, that they don't, in some way kind of deteriorate. So in that way, it's no different than if I had my regular teeth. But honestly, I don't notice that they're implants anymore. I don't even realize that I had them done. They feel like they're just mine.
Wow. And have you had any like, issues or had to pay anything extra like since you've got them? Have you had to like go back a lot? Like, tell me more about that.
I went back of my own recognizance because I did a couple silly things. But the good thing about that, even though I did a couple silly things that required me to go back, Nuvia was always there to help. And no, I didn't pay anything extra. They wanted me to be satisfied, and there was no extra cost at all. It was already taken care of.
Incredible. So it sounds like it's like an all inclusive price that you like is set from the beginning. Is that how it works?
Yes, for me, I got financing. So once I did my deposit at my consultation and I got approved for the financing, they paid Nuvia immediately. So my everything was already taken care of. My surgery, my anesthesia, the pulling of my teeth, the replacement of my teeth, the prosthesis, the all the appointments were taken care of up to the first year. And all I have to do is pay my lenders. So there was no worry. There was no hidden cost. I don't ever have to be like, oh my God, I'm going to go in there and it's going to be this amount of money. It wasn't that.
Wow. So where can people find like what those like financing or payment like plans look like?
In the cost guide, there should be a link down below. Definitely check that out, y'all. It's worth it.
Awesome. Okay, great. Well, it sounds like the cost guide has a lot of great stuff to check out. I do have a couple more questions though.
Sure.
What do you think your life would be like if you hadn't had done this at the age you did? If you would have kept putting it off, like how different do you think your life would be now?
Oh, damn, you're gonna make me cry. I honestly, after the surgery, I had this woozy moment of asking them, did they save any of my teeth? Because I don't know why I thought I was gonna keep my teeth. And they said, no, honey, as soon as we took them, they just fell apart. They told me like I maybe had another 2 or 3 months with my front teeth before they were gonna fail. And had I not done that, I would be I don't know where I would be. I wouldn't probably have my job because I wouldn't wanna speak to anybody. I would be unhealthy. I'd probably still be in and out of hospitals. I don't think I would be okay. I would probably be depressed and just not myself. I can't imagine had I waited any longer. I just can't.
Oh my goodness. Well, I am so glad that you were able to be like, hey, now's the time. No more waiting. Like, that is super brave. Again, you have these kids and you're like, I need to support them, but like, I need to do this for myself. And I think the word, selfish is always used very negatively, but like you had to do, like you needed to do this for yourself. Like you needed to, and you did. And that's like super brave. So I'm like super proud of you. And oh, it fills my heart with so much joy that like you did it and you're here now 1 year later and you're living life.
Yes. I can honestly say it's not just teeth. Having the courage to finally say, I deserve this much to improve my health, that not only changed my health, it changed the way I saw myself as a whole because I had been telling myself, no, you don't need to go out for this job. You don't need to do this thing. I didn't have enough confidence, but I took that one decision and I said, hey, Angel, you did this thing. You did this brave thing. You can go and do more. And since that time, like I have changed so much in the way that I approach life, the way that I approach people. Everything about me has changed. It wasn't just teeth. It changed my life. It changed my view of life. It healed me in more ways than one.
Oh my goodness. And how about, before you said the way you felt had affected kind of the people around you too? Like, what is that like now? Like, are you kind of showing up differently for them? And how does that look?
Yes, I my kids and my husband and my mom, my dad, all my siblings, they love it for me. They're like, "Hey, you want this chip?" And I was like, "Yes." And so it's kind of this fun thing. My son goes, "Oh yeah, you can eat that now. You have teeth." And it's a fun joke, but every now and then I kind of hesitate and I'm like, And they'll see me and they're like, "Girl, you can eat that. It's okay." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's right. I can do it." So they're so proud of me. They're happy for me. They're happy that I'm no longer in pain. I can't describe how supportive they have been. And actually, it's brought a lot of my family members to be like, "Hey, if you did that, I know I can do it too."
Wow. Oh,
So,
that is so amazing. It's like a ripple effect, you know?
yeah.
Man, well,
Yeah.
I'll ask you this, but it sounds like I already know the answer. Has been doing this worth it? Is it worth it for you?
Yes. Unequivocally, yes. There's no other way to answer that. I just can't imagine my life had I not gone to Nubia. I just can't.
And do you feel, since you did it at a younger age, like, do you have any regrets about that and maybe how it's made you feel as you are now?
No, I think the age that I got it done was actually ideal because I have so much more life ahead of me. Not to say that if I was older, I wouldn't, but I have so much more to look forward to now than I did before. I spent almost 20 years in pain. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life like that. So to me, there's no age limit and no age, no lower age that can prevent you from doing this. If you're unhealthy, if you're in pain, if you can't eat, you can't live, it doesn't matter your age. You need to do it because it's what's going to help you in the long run.
I love that. I love that. Well, Angel, thank you so much for like being open and vulnerable and sharing your story with us today. You are proof
Yes.
that you don't have to put yourself last or wait until you are older to fix something that can be holding you back in many ways than you might even realize at the time. For those watching, if you are curious about, again, what that cost could look like for you, check out that cost guide that Angel mentioned earlier in the description below. And until next time, keep
Keep
smiling.
smiling.